Thank you so much. So those are our dailies. Now comes the next thing. I don't know if anybody caught that. You probably heard that a burger was ready.
Yep, they caught everything.
Okay. I don't have the microphone cut when I go through those cutscenes, okay? Yeah. All right. That's it for our main story quest. Next up.
Almost made it, Dad. Almost made it.
Once again, transition time. The burger comes through again.
Consider hitting the subscribe button down below, as well as the bell notification right next to it. Thank you.
There's reports exposing mismanagement, bro culture, and trend chasing at the Amazon Game Studios. So this makes you wonder if New World will ever come out, which, by the way, New World was mentioned in the article because they actually changed from being mostly PvP MMO to a little more like split between the two. It mentioned all the other stuff they got rid of and whatnot, and wondering if they actually being mismanaged. I don't know. You think with Amazon behind it, a lot of money, yes, but you think they have pretty good management by it anyways. But there's that. But anyway, keep watching. Go read the articles and more about it. Steam has announced another game festival. That's right, a place where you can go and do demos. Just get on your computer, download a demo, play it for a little bit, see if you like it, put on your wish list. Good to go. It starts on Wednesday, February 3rd at 10 a.m. Pacific, and runs to Tuesday, February 9th at 10 a.m. Pacific. I did this last year, especially with regards to PAX Online and some other things. And it's kind of fun to sit around and download this demo and play it and see if you like it. So there you go. Keep open for that with Steam. It's coming up because guess what? February is right around the corner, like next week. If you don't know, today is January 30th. The month is almost over. And I think that might be on Solomon's thing. If you haven't watched his latest video, he already mentions this. But old school RuneScape. That's right. That stupid game I don't want to play, even though I downloaded it one time because it's. Anyways, it's going to Steam. February 24th. It's going to go to Steam. Because after all, RuneScape had a successful launch on Steam, so why not? Okay. But then again, also, did you know that RuneScape was purchased? That's right. The new owners are the Carlyle Group. It's an investment firm, and now they own it. And they have like a $250 billion portfolio of other stuff. So do they know what they're doing? Guess what? Personally, I don't care. But that's just me because I don't play RuneScape. That's all I have in my dailies. I'm going to hand it off to Jaziel for some of his dailies.
All right, so this week I've only got. There was a lot of little news, but the two big ones, at least, were the I would say most played right now. Definitely part of the top 5 MMOs. ESO Blackwood, which is part of the Gates of Oblivion experience that we will be having later this year. Had a trailer reveal as well as some devs that got on and talked about the many. Well, to me, it didn't seem like there was as many changes being made to the game as during the past year with Greymore. However, there are some changes that are pretty big. One that I'm looking forward to seeing what's up with it and how it all works out. There's a lot of man, the forums went crazy about this. The champion points, as you might know, are being completely reworked, supposedly to make it simpler. It did from the ground level, and explanation looks simple. And then I watched another video from Hack the Minotaur, I believe. He's the one that did the video that I watched about it. He's been in beta, so he's been able to check it out and test it out for himself. He did it seemed like an hour-long explanation of the champion point system. And when he first started, I was all, so now there's only 3 that you can put in, and then there's 2 sub ones that you can click into, and it opens up a whole nother tree. So as you know, there used to be a whole clock of them that you could put your points into, and now there's supposedly only the 3. But as he started giving the details, it became more and more complicated. However, despite that, I saw so many people going, I don't like this. This is way more complicated. It doesn't make sense. Why are they changing it? Which I get. I have OCD. I don't like change either. But you know what? By the end of the videos, both his and the dev stream, it looked like a good change to me. We'll see. There are people that are in beta saying that their DPS has been just absolutely obliterated. It is lowered drastically. And I think that might just be because we don't know where to put our points. Just, putting in layman's terms yet. We don't know what the best combination of points are and whatnot yet. And we just need to give it time, get used to it, see what's most effective and what's not. And it's not released yet. So once it gets released, I have faith in the studio. I was going to say kind of, but I have faith in the studio that they're going to get it at least working, as sort of as intended by the time that it's released. And I see the potential in it, and I'm rooting for it. I'm looking forward to, testing it out and seeing how it works for me and my characters. Once we get back into the game, I do plan, for those of you playing ESO that watch our show, I do plan on returning to ESO as soon as this launches. Well, actually, I'm probably going to end up coming back a month before, just to kind of get used to the game again, since I've been playing World of Warcraft and other MMOs during this time. Other than that, there were some other little tweaks and things that they're doing, nothing too major. But as far as the expansion content goes, what was revealed to us looks really interesting and really cool. So I'm looking forward to Gates of Oblivion, if you can't tell, and playing through that story, as well as, like I said, the Champion Point reworking is a huge deal, I think. So we'll see how that works out. Next, I had World of Warcraft Shadowlands. This is kind of big news that came out this week. Torghast, for those of you who have been doing it and you have a ton of alts, I feel for you. I also have a ton of alts. In fact, I have one of every class on both Alliance and Horde. So it has become a full-time job to the point where I've just said, I can't do this anymore. I am just going to level up my main. Well, have some good news about Torghast. It now unlocks account-wide, the layer. So if you do layer 6, that's going to be unlocked for all of your alts. Now, this does not count Twisting Corridors. Unfortunately, Twisting Corridors, you're still going to have to do them if you want to do them. Supposedly, you don't have to do Twisting Corridors, and actually, I've been staying away from it. I played it through it like 3 times and said that's enough. I only run the other wings with Kenneth in here, and got Fuzz and Slick and Steve and all the other yahoos who have nothing to do in the late evenings. So that's a good change. I don't know if it's going to make me want to get on my alts still. As alt friendly as they said Shadowlands would be, it's not turning out that way. You don't have to take my word for it. If you have a lot of alts, you already know. Other than that, that's all I've got for this.
All right. Sounds good. Those are 2 good dailies. All right, Solomon, up to you now. Bring us home on your daily quest.
Am I on? Excuse me.
Yes, you're on.
Yep.
You are on.
Actually, I wanted to talk about something here, and maybe something more about it, Sergio Azil, but I always had the impression that Magic Legends wasn't going to be an MMO anymore. Do you know anything about that?
Initially, it was going to be. They changed and said it was no longer going to be one. I would say about 3 months ago.
Right.
Right.
But then why are they still
Right.
calling it an MMO? Like even in
I
their official
do not
pages.
know.
Yeah,
I saw
Really?
that.
yeah,
Yes.
I covered it
I don't
because
know.
Magic Legends is going into beta testing in March, end of March, and they're still calling it an MMO, and that
They are.
confused me. Anyways, okay.
Yeah,
That's the point.
you're right, and I saw that too. And I would like to give the source of where I heard this, but I honestly cannot remember. I'm having a bad brain day, guys.
Yeah, we all do.
I had heard because a dev had got on one of his live streams, and actually, I believe there was a Q&A on Reddit, if I'm remembering this correctly, who said that there are still elements, meaning there's probably some co-op type of Genshin Impact-ish kind of thing going on there,
Right.
if you get my drift. But I'm going to say they're maybe leaving it on to keep that audience.
False advertising, bro.
Yeah, it's false advertising.
Like much the way a lot of
Surprise
mobile
on it.
games call themselves MMOs when they're not.
Yeah, absolutely, that's true.
Well, again, massive multiplayer online. Is it
Yeah, but
massive? Is it multiplayer? Is it online?
It's multiplayer. I believe there is a multiplayer aspect to it. You
Yeah.
can single player or co-op.
No, there
But-
is
Yeah.
multiplayer aspects to Magic Legends, but
Yeah.
Yes.
in terms of having a persistent world, like going with the classic definition of
Right.
an MMO, like World of
That
Warcraft,
is, yeah.
I don't think that's
I
the
was-
case with this game anymore.
I was
Has to be
taking
the
it was going to be more like Path of Exile, if you will.
Right, that's what I said
Does
too.
that make
actually.
sense? Yeah.
All right, well,
Which
anyways.
also sometimes is spoken to be an MMO.
So yeah, sometimes even Destiny, people say Destiny's an MMO
that's
when it's
true.
like, no, not really. Anyways,
That's true.
um,
Fair point.
this isn't an MMO news, but I thought I'd mention it here really quick anyways. But there's apparently a new Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic game being developed right now, but it's not actually being developed by BioWare. And
That's
whoever the leaker said you will never guess the studio, but there seems to be an uproar about it. But anyways, moving on.
Those who do the division, an Ubisoft studio. has been
Really?
rumored
Is
to be
that what they
way.
said?
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
We talked about it on the Hear Me Out on Friday because one of the news points, because a lot of folks who are KOTOR fans, even my son who started playing the old again, one of the biggest things was like, oh, this is not BioWare. But apparently it's supposed to be a Ubisoft studio that rumored Ubisoft studio who did the division.
That might not be a bad thing, but we'll see, I suppose.
Right. Well, like anything, I mean, like anything we see, it's like same with the Hear Me Out shows. Like anything out there, if they do it well with a good story, mechanics, graphics, it'll be fine.
Right.
It's unfortunate that sometimes some of these AAA companies these days are like they don't seem to be doing it. It's like Anthem. I mean, I know they're working Dragon Age 4, and so hopefully it's good. It's like all these companies you had such. BioWare did such great stuff, and then all of a sudden they stumbled, Bethesda has done great stuff, and then they stumbled, okay? So they better pick themselves up and get back online. So, but anyway, sorry.
You mean like Cyberpunk? Never, anyways. I'm just kidding.
Oh my.
Red is now into, yeah.
So this is an MMO I know we're gonna get this year, and that's Elion, and they introduced a new class in Korea called the Slayer, and it looks pretty awesome, I will admit. I love over the top sort of just aesthetics, like you have a little person with a sword that's like twice his size. I think that's pretty cool. So Final Fantasy 14 is going to release patch 5.45, and why is that a big deal? Because we're talking about MMOs. We'd be going 6 hours if you talk about every single update that ever happened. But this one leads up to their next expansion that's soon to be announced in February, I believe.
That's right. They're having their announcement in February. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and so a lot of people are excited about that because the previous expansion.
Their PTR, right?
I'm sorry?
I mean, it's because now they're going to start seeing it on their PTR.
Oh, I
Or not.
I totally
I don't
missed that.
imagine.
Yeah. But man, it's one of those games that I should still give it a try, but I haven't. But anyways, there's another MMO being developed right now. Definitely going to be a very niche market. But it's called Nine Chronicles, and this is going to be a side-scrolling MMORPG. But what sets this apart from a lot of other ones out there is that they are actually using blockchaining technology to implement some of the stuff that they have going on in the game. Very similar to, I believe, another crypto MMORPG called Ember Sword that I believe is in beta test right now. And also and even then what sets this MMO apart from even Ember Sword and obviously other MMOs is that they're actually using peer-to-peer blockchaining, which means that you actually don't even need a server. And yeah, it's pretty crazy. I'm not exactly sure of the intricacies of this.
What do you mean?
So if it's peer-to-peer, like it's basically if there's people online, and again, I'm huge blanket, term, generalization of the game, because again, I'm not that very server or tech savvy when it comes to the server side of things. But basically, yeah, if you have people on, it's how do they explain it? It's like so typical MMO, you have a server obviously, and everybody logins to the server and plays. But with peer-to-peer, on the other hand, in the way blockchaining works, as so long as that there are people playing the game, technically that's the server. You guys are the server. The players are the server. Yeah.
It utilizes the resources that are available from the players.
Yeah.
Well, I go to the website and it says that LibPlanet is a blockchain core powering fully decentralized, keyboard decentralized, serverless peer-to-peer games designed for native multi-platform experience and open source and fully moddable from launch.
Kind of a neat idea, really.
Yeah, and currently it says here, you can play, mine, govern together. This world is yours to keep. So I don't know. It'll be interesting. I mean, it's anytime something new comes out, I give it a shot. See what it's like.
Absolutely.
I mean, we'll see what happens.
I just wonder, not to cut you off, Solomon. Sorry.
I am outraged.
I sorry. I'll send you some candies. Okay. I just got a whole bag of 5-pound bag of M&Ms. Do you like those?
I'll take all of it.
My only fear with that is the potential of cheating, hacking, corrupting, because that is an issue that we've had since the 90s with peer-to-peer programming. And I realize that it's a lot safer now than it was, especially for those who are more knowledgeable about it. But it just seems like it would make it susceptible.
Yep. It would be.
And open itself to. Yeah, so I love the idea though, and I might even try it out. But
wouldn't
it's something ringing in my ears, about it.
Yeah.
Wouldn't blockchaining imply also that it would be more difficult to do that, because in order for one block or in order for a hack or some sort of cheat to be implemented, all the other blocks, or in this case computers or whatever, needs to also contain the same information. And so if one block doesn't have the same information as all the rest, then that one gets canceled out. Right.
Well, creating a peer-to-peer network, you would think and hope that because it's peer-to-peer, you're signing in, you're going in. This is a network. Now, instead of a server, right? I'm picturing this network.
Right.
Okay. That because it's like you sign into it. Let someone. Yeah. I think I can picture some scriptless going in and signing up, and all of a sudden dumping their crap into the network. But I think they would have some kind of. Well, I hope. Way to catch that and make sure it doesn't happen.
Right, and I think that's what blockchaining prevents, right?
But if someone gets into the blockchain, they can still corrupt it. That's one thing. They got to have some kind of something.
It is possible.
Well,
unless,
no,
of course,
then that
your
person
computers have your
right, and I think that's nearly impossible. That's why I think that's the appeal of cryptocurrency, because you can't steal bitcoins, because unless you are able to what do you call it, activate the key or whatever it's called, and say to all the other blocks that, hey, this transaction is good, it's legitimate. It's like, that's why no one ever stole a Bitcoin, because that's not how blockchain operates, I thought.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm just explaining things on top,
Cool.
top of my head.
No, in layman's terms, you're correct. It does. It's almost like when you are having issues with a game, say World of Warcraft ESO. I believe even your Black Desert Online, you have that ability to, if you're having issues, to check your files and make sure that everything's there that's supposed to be there. I believe that with blockchaining, that's what it's doing, is it's checking to make sure that there's nothing being corrupted or messed with, hacks or otherwise, whatever name you want to use going on. However, I wouldn't use the word impossible.
Right, yeah, I don't either. Yeah,
but for the average Joe, it would be extremely difficult, and it does deter from that, and probably would get caught rather quickly. However, I'm not as smart at that stuff either. I mean, I'm not like a pro hacker that can hack the White House or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I'm very street level learned on that stuff. But again, I'd like to try it. It sounds cool, man.
Yep.
And side scrolling, I haven't seen that before. So, well, side scrolling. I grew up with Atari, but I mean MMO. Sounds
all
cool.
right, Solomon. Sorry.
No, it's good discussion. I mean, you don't have to be sorry about that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Where was I? Oh yeah, Phantasy Star Online 2 bringing in a new class. Such a weird name. It's called the Luster class, and I'll just leave it at that. Okay. Kingdom and Chaos is another MMORPG that I never heard of that's being developed, and it kind of looks very similar to Minecraft. And you might think to yourself, "Oh, this is an MMO made for kids." It's actually not. It's actually very hardcore and centered around PvP and PKing and ganking, which is, I mean, very weird combination of things, but there you have it. Black Desert Online is making huge changes. Pearl Abyss, the developer of the game, is going to self-publish their title now, and they're having a divorce with Kakao Games. So new Twitter handles, new social media handles everywhere. You have to transfer your account from Kakao to Pearl Abyss, which only takes 3 minutes to do, but there's a bunch of password changes that you need to make a new account, create a password, link the two accounts, blah blah blah, etc. etc. But if you know how to handle the computer, you should be able to handle the transfer in the first place. Another new MMO that I never heard of, which is really interesting, is called The Day Before, and in the article that I covered this with, they compared it to an MMO that smashes or crosses The Division and The Last of Us together, and I think that's a pretty accurate description of the game. It's supposed to be a post-apocalyptic survival MMORPG that takes place, around the same time. That's like a current time setting, but obviously you have like the undead, you have zombies, and you actually have other scavengers out there that you have to fight for resources as well. So you got some potential PvP there as well. I forgot what kind of engine that they're using, but man, the graphics are really crisp. They're really beautiful. The reflection, the textures, and everything that at least we saw so far in the 5-minute demo play that we got earlier this week. It's a beautiful looking game. In this particular area that they were fighting, it looks like it took place during Christmas, and so you still have a lot of Christmas decorations up in this post-apocalyptic area, and it looks pretty fantastic. Pretty excited about that new MMO.
Which, by the way, you would have known about before you watched this show if you watched Solomon's Coffee and RPG YouTube video, because he did mention that already.
And lastly, if you are a Destiny 2 fan, basically they're going the way of battle passes. Looks like everybody's doing battle passes these days. The other game that went that route is Sea of Thieves, that started doing that, I believe, this week. And their excuse or reasoning was that we don't want people experiencing bounty fatigue, whatever that is. So Yeah, lots of new changes, a little bit for a little bit of everything or something for everybody, and yeah, that's it.
All right. Thank you so much. Those are our dailies. Now comes the next thing. I don't know if anybody caught that. You probably heard that a burger was ready.
Yep, it caught everything.
Okay. I don't have the microphone cut when I go to those cut scenes, okay? Anyway, so it is now time for our main story quest where the Trinity Bros give you our MMO opinions, okay? So, some of you may or heard about this in the past, but Final Fantasy 14 had a crossplay, a crossover with I think the name is the game now, okay? Oh, I got a crossover, okay?
With Nier?
Not Nier. Thank you. Yeah, Nier. Yeah, right. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So my question is, okay, given that there's all these MMOs out there, okay, what would you want to see two MMOs do cross play? Almost like take your character from, say, one game. Let's pick World of Warcraft. Your druid, your bear druid, and dump your bear druid into Star Wars: The Old Republic. So that's not my pick. I'm just saying that's an idea, okay? So Collective says World of Warcraft and Destiny combined. Okay, so Solomon, what would you think? What would be two MMOs you would love to see do crossplay?
I'm thinking about this, and for whatever reason, like, this is one of those questions where you can let your imagination play out, run wild, and just come out with really interesting combinations.
Yeah.
But I'm having a really hard time putting two MMOs of a different genre together. For example, like you said, Star Wars and the World of Warcraft. Like, I'm trying to picture that in my head and what that would even look like, and I just can't do it. It would just be so weird to me.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking about, obviously I did World of Warcraft and SWTOR because it was truly not going to happen, okay? But I was thinking more like a fantasy type of thing. Like, you think about like ESO, Elder Scrolls Online, kind of like doing a cross-play with, like, say, Fallout 76, or even into Rift back in the day. Kind of fantasy stuff, kind of a little bit different, right? But just kind of cross-play like that, and be able to do some of the things you see. Now, it sounds so stupid because in one respect, you take a game, like take your character, just jump in there, and you're like, what's the balance with the? It's not the point. The point is taking your character from one game and running it through, because they would do some cross-play, whatever, be a place where both worlds are together. You could never actually take your guy, your say your Rift character, and fly over Stormwind, okay? But
why not?
yeah, sorry. Yeah, Yoshi's right. A crossover event. You're right. That's a good point. What would you see that's a very good point, Yoshi. Crossover event. Maybe I should say that instead. That's to change your mind there, Solomon, by saying crossover.
That actually makes more sense. No.
Let's start over again. What two games would you like to see a crossover event? Like bringing your druid into a going to Alderaan in SWTOR and trying to save Princess Leia. I don't know.
Man. You know what? I'm just gonna pick probably the most anticipated MMOs and just choose from that. So obviously, and this is obviously going to be a game that people are going to roll their eyes back. First one would be Star Citizen. And then oh man, that's a good question. Star Citizen and what other game? Okay, I'm gonna say Star Citizen and Crimson Desert.
Desert, okay, yeah.
Two games that aren't released. I get it, so maybe that's not a really realistic answer. But for the games that are already out, I think I just go to the safe bet and just pick either World of Warcraft and Black Desert Online or World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy 14. I think that's like doable. Again, I know we're not really looking for realistic answers here, but like for a crossover event, I think that'd be pretty cool. Yeah. Not gonna ever happen because Blizzard has so much to lose by doing crossover events, and those other two games I mentioned has everything to gain. But yeah, I mean they're all fantasy games and they all have like different enough game mechanics and different features of the game where it's just something that you would actually have to learn how to play, especially Black Desert Online, in my opinion. But yeah, I think it'd be really interesting to see like really just amazing looking tunes from Black Desert Online, because it is one of the prettiest MMOs out there. And just going to like your early 2000 graphics in World of Warcraft and seeing the comparison and people just fighting over what looks better or something. I don't know. Yeah. Having a pageant contest or I don't know. Yeah, I think that's my answer. Although that is a good question. I really wish I had more time to think about it. But yeah, that's my answer.
Well, since Yoshi did a good job of clarifying what I actually meant was crossover event, now this puts more into, like, to me, a Star Wars / Overwatch. Okay, not Overwatch, sorry, Destiny crossplay. Okay, crossover event.
I could see that. I could see that.
Taking my guy, who I play in Destiny 2 in the Emperor mode, coming over into SWTOR.
How's it go?
And running around doing, my warlock. And it'd be kind of fun, but that would be kind of interesting to do that. And Destiny 2 is a much prettier game. I love the system better than SWTOR. I love Star Wars. I would love to get back into SWTOR, but I just have a problem with the system. It just doesn't seem to be my kind of game. So all right, so Jazil, you got some more time now. So we clarify it's a crossover event. What would you pick?
Yeah, well, originally when you went crossplay, I had all kinds of ideas, but crossover, where I instantly go, I've been sharing with you guys, and when I was on Twitter, I was sharing it on there too. But as you know, I don't hop on Twitter anymore. All those really cool updated graphics. Where people take World of Warcraft and put it into modern game engines. And that instantly where my mind goes is it would be really cool to take that universe and plop it into a new modern engine and just go still be stylized, but more realistic, smoother graphics. And I wouldn't say super realistic or hyper realistic graphics. I still want it stylized, but man, it would just be so cool to see World of Warcraft universe more in the style of like Crimson Desert or Black Desert Online kind of graphics. And I would even say Guild Wars 2 would be really cool to see what it would look like on those engines. But as far as like, if you're talking a crossover event where you're talking like Smash Brothers on Nintendo kind of a thing, where it's all these different characters from totally different universes mixing together. Man, that's a more difficult one.
Well, it's the Final 14 Nier Automata, crossover event.
Yeah, I kind of think it'd be Guild Wars 2 mixed with World of Warcraft, maybe. Would be kind of cool. ESO, man, that would be kind of cool to see ESO mixed with maybe Black Desert Online. I'm kind of thinking. I don't know, man. Be interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know what either of those options would have to benefit each other. Well, Guild Wars 2 would definitely benefit from
Yeah, that's
get an
sure.
influx of people. I
Right.
mean, let's just be honest. They are in the top 5, but they're on the other side. No offense, I still play Guild Wars 2. I still love you. But you are the low man on the totem pole. Let's just be honest. I just, I instantly, man, I can't help it. I go right to what would it look like, and when I go to, like I said, with those videos where they take World of Warcraft, and put it onto a newer engine. Oh my goodness, it's so beautiful. It's just awesome. And I admit, man, if they ever do like a World of Warcraft 2 or something, I'm there. If they I want them to still keep that style, especially being a person that played Warcraft 1, 2, and 3 during the RPG or RPG days. I want them to keep that style. I don't want them to lose that. That's what makes them World of Warcraft. And not these other games. It has a lot to do with the style. So, I would go with that. But I think as far as not talking graphics, but fitting in, like making sense to some, even just a little smidgen of a degree. You'd have to stick with high fantasy. You couldn't just go sci-fi with, knights in shining armor, go into Star Citizen or something. That I get. Well, actually,
Is that a challenge?
That's an interesting idea.
Right.
I mean, what was that movie about that kid that went back something
Percy.
in King Arthur's court?
Oh, but yeah, okay, that was a Mark Twain book. But they made it into a kid.
They did make it into a movie. It was a Mark Twain book first, though, but I believe, right? Yeah,
it was a book about going back in King Arthur's court, but it was based on an adult. This was a kid one. You're right. It was
it was a kid one. Hey, that's interesting. Now that I've said it, that was just kind of verbal diarrhea there, but that
fantasy worlds. They're all fantasy games. Okay, I mean,
true.
Well, wait a minute. There's no way you could put a World of Warcraft and a Star Wars crossover. It just wouldn't work. I'm like, they're both fantasy worlds, right? Well, yeah, but why don't you just pretend they're Ewoks, okay? And they got powers now, okay? I don't know.
Ewoks, how dare you?
Wait, hang on, really quick. When you said that, I totally forgot I had a copy of this. Oh, it's backwards, but it's Pride and Prejudice and Zombies.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I've heard about that.
That's actually a good movie.
I like this movie. I know people hate this movie because it's so bad, but I
like it.
It's one of my favorite bad good movies of all time.
I mean, it's awful, but it's beautiful at the same time.
I know it is. It is. I know I'm gonna get a lot of dislikes.
Lincoln versus zombies or zombie killer.
Yeah, same author. I thought.
Bill and Ted.
Yeah.
Ted, that's an adventure. We're gonna bring back Abraham Lincoln, and yeah. All right. That's it for our main story quest. Next up.
Almost made it, Dad. Almost made it.
Once again, transition time. The burger comes through again. I'll tell you later. All right, it's just time for our escort quest, where we link you to safety, experience, and adventure of a lifetime. Okay. So this question it's probably going to be quick answer. Yes or no. Okay, nothing right. But would you ever want to make your own MMO? So Jazil, you've been in this business for a while, but playing, devs, all that stuff. Would you ever want to make your own MMO?
Absolutely.
All the time, the trouble, the pain, okay.
If I knew that I had the financial backing to make it happen, and I had, more of a one-on-one friendship with people that I knew I could trust to come in on the team and help hire other people that are not very knowledgeable and could make what's in my head appear on the screen. Absolutely. Yeah. And no hesitation there, as you can tell.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
I was quite sure because I know that some people like, Stephen Sharif, of course, had money from other places. And of course, he didn't funded Interpret Studios was making Ashes of Creation. I know of others who've tried to do something like this. There was a game called Eternal Novus, was like a persistent space type of thing. I first saw it at PAX like a decade ago, and I kickstarted it, but it kind of died. There was a guy who really wanted to make a game. This he was like a player or whatnot, but it's like, yeah, but it takes time and money. Even like Mark Jacobs, who is an expert or industry person, is doing the Camelot Unchained. Has taken some time because actually for them, they designed their own new engine, so just using the Unreal Engine, and so that creates some more time. But yeah, people have said it's like a pain about whatever we want to do it again. Apparently, some of the people in the industry do. Profile, another example is people who are industry experts who are industry experience. Industry. Someone has experience. They are industry. Whatever. Okay. All right, Solomon. What would you want to make your own MMO?
Or I don't know if instinctively is the right word, or knee jerk. My answer would be yes too, but I kind of had a wait a minute moment. To kind of digress a little bit, if you guys didn't know, I got a 4-year degree in digital filmmaking and studio production. Biggest regret in my life. It was a stupid waste of money. If you're gonna get into film, don't go to school. You can learn everything on YouTube. Trust me. There's some film degrees that are worth getting. Film isn't one of them. It really isn't. Anyways, the reason why I bring that up is because there was an analogy that my really good friend made that stuck with me all these years, even before I went to film school. And he's like saying, I'm not really sure if I want to do film anymore because, like, imagine making a hot dog, and that would probably totally ruin your experience of eating a hot dog because you actually know how they make it, and it's probably really gross. All the intricacies, like what they do to it, and all the gory details of the killing the pig and all that other stuff. And so possibly by learning how to make an MMORPG or just games in general, there's a chance I feel like that it would ruin your experience as a player because your mind might go into like dev mode, and you're like, oh, I would have done this differently, or I would have done that differently. Oh, I see a mistake here, or I see a mistake there because you know how to make a game now. So yeah, there was a point in my life where I would watch a movie and I would go into that movie making mode, and it's just like, oh, if I was the director, I would have done this differently or that differently, or if I had if I had this position, maybe I was the producer or a set designer or something like that, and like granted, this moment didn't really last that long, but there still is that place in your head where you go into analytical mode. Well, at least in my case that was the point. But even with that being said, I'd still want to do it anyways because old boomer hashtag YOLO, right? So
Yeah,
it's like if given the opportunity, given the resources, like, yeah, I would do it too. And like, it's just even if I knew it was going to be a complete failure, the fact that I was given the opportunity to make something that not everybody could do, yeah, it's still pretty cool, I think.
yeah.
It kind of reminds me, just real quick, that there was a story. I was really, when I was growing up, fascinated by, like most of us young men, by magic and illusionists and whatnot. And I was really into Harry Houdini and reading books about his life. And there was what you were just saying. brings up a story in one of the books that I had read about a young man who wanted to learn magic from Harry Houdini, and he had pestered Houdini on several occasions when he came through town, and Houdini just realized there was something there that his response was that you don't really want, you think you want to know how these tricks are done,
Mm-hmm.
but you really don't. And what's going to happen is I'm going to tell you how these tricks are done, and you're going to lose that lust for life and for exploration and trying to figure things out. If I just give it to you, you're not going to have that sense that there's still magic in the world. And like you were just saying about, you've studied film, and so now when you watch films, even now, I would reckon that you see things, and it's that you kind of lose that magic, and it does kind of put you in a place where it's not fun anymore, really. And that is kind of a tragic thing about video games, I would suppose, developing video games anyways, that you could end up in that space where I love video games. I love playing video games, especially MMOs. Obviously, we're doing the show today. But if I knew everything about how they were put together, would I still have that? Would there still be that magic there? Would there still be that passion after that? Being behind the curtains, seeing how it's all put together. For me, I think there still would be. But definitely not for playing it, because you would know all the cheats. You'd know, well, this character's gonna, or this boss is gonna make these moves, and you would know all the potential outcomes, and you know how to defeat everything. So it's not going to be as fun as it is for us to play the games right now, because you're going to know what to do. There won't be you won't have to go to Wowhead or any of these fan sites to see how to beat a boss, or how to beat a dungeon, or how to make it all the way to the top to Torghast, because you're already going to know.
Yeah.
So it kind of brought that story to mind of, that losing that magic and that lust for life, and that desire to figure things out for yourself, So yeah.
Well, that's true. When you see about how you make the sausage, you don't want to know anymore. I mean, people said it's kind of similar. When I was working at McDonald's during college, they go, "Oh, you're gonna hate the food now because now you know how it's made." I'm like, well, actually, no. I actually like the fact that they have a process. They are clean. They do a lot of good things. So no, it's good. My youngest daughter and her husband are both in the game industry, and they generally avoid going to games cons because they're like, why? They see a lot of it, know a lot of it. They're not really that they play games. They love playing games still, and they do know the magic behind it. I mean, I've been in the airplane industry for 35 years, and so I know what goes on. I mean, it's not people are like, oh my goodness, yeah, it is pretty amazing to design and build an airplane, but I also know what goes into sausage. It's like, yeah, it's just, I don't know why anybody else can't do it, because it seems like you just you design, you build it. I mean, it can do it, but you still only Airbus and Boeing do it these days. I mean, other air companies have tried to do it. I mean, even the Russians have tried to do it, the Chinese, and they're struggling, and they don't, even though they kind of know it. But anyways, at my age, knowing, I've seen other sausage making, so to speak, I would be interested in doing an MMO because it'd be kind of fun, collaborative space of doing it. Yes, there could be the fact that I would know all the tips and tricks, right? But to be behind a development of a project like this would be fantastic. There was at one point a lot of folks in my family thought about that. They thought about creating a little studio, because I have people in my family who are smart with graphic design, art, right? Even environmental art, in writing, coding, music. Okay, people in my family. It's not just my family. Obviously, it's combination of some of my in-laws too. Okay, but the fact that we have all that talent, we thought about doing it. We started to do a Discord. We started moving forward on this. Right, people were learning things. I even downloaded Unreal Engine to learn more about it. Different things, right? But it kind of like just a little bit, because one of the things that popped up was making sure maybe if we're going to do this, we got to make sure we understand the legal aspects, you might say, because as you get going forward and things do start popping and say, what happens when success does, spoil Rock Hunter? That's an old movie. But anyways, yeah. But I think it'd be fun. I mean, development process. I've been a part of those things at work for a long time, and just seeing it all come together, and you're like, it's like feeling good. And even though compromise always happens, no one's happy, no one's sad. That just means that you got a good game, you got a good thing. So yeah, I would love to do it. Really good question. I thought this might be more of a yes/no question, but yeah, that was really good, guys. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, we are near the end. Time for our world events. BlizzCon is coming up on February 19th and 20th. We don't have a schedule yet, so we don't know what we're going to do directly. If the minimum, I thought about just being in Discord and just talking about it, maybe even record it for a podcast to get our feedback on it, but I don't know what's going to happen, okay? But obviously in February also is the Square Enix Final Fantasy review for the next expansion. Might want to pop into that just to see what's going on and report it live again for that. And then New World, assuming Amazon Game Studios doesn't go under or go have problems.
They can't.
New World.
They can't. They need to publish Lost Ark.
Oh yeah. Well, they've also. I mean, New World. New World is doing stuff. I mean, people are still moving forward. There's been, all this things. It's still happening. Some people have been streaming. I think I'm still at the alpha. I gotta play it more often. Jafar Beckham Aladdin wants to do his next show about doing it Sunday. I go, I can't do Sunday. That's when we do the Pastors After Dark. And this week's going to be really interesting. Okay, so I'm going to be there as part of the crew, but also the mod crew if need be. So stick around for that. More coming. If you do want to join right now, people are still playing World of Warcraft. Those who've been following me have been noting that I've been thinking about turning my subscription off. But we'll see what happens. I will be playing some World of Warcraft tonight after this show, after I have some dinner, after I take a time off. So join us, okay? And by the way, we talked about this when we first started doing a show of actually taking an MMO and just start playing it. Just the three of us or anybody else get into a Discord or chat and stream it and just kind of play a new game. Jump in, make characters, and do this. We've had some premiere shows like regards to World of Warcraft Classic, as well as Elder Scrolls, for the Skyrim thing. But we haven't actually done a smaller indie type of game that comes out. We should try it. But
I have an idea.
Yeah,
we play the worst rated MMO on Steam.
That would be interesting. Yeah. It would be kind of cool just to do that. I mean, why not? Okay, right?
Right, just for one day.
Rated MMO, just to see it. Yeah. I mean, of course,
Okay.
I hope it's not old school RuneCraft because I've already done that one.
No, I think
that's
it's
high.
Yeah, it's rated pretty high. I think it's some like really just gimp like anime like MMO like no one's ever heard of from China or something.
Yeah, there you go. Right. Of course, Rogue Saint just said do it, but that means like a Mountain Dew thing, and we're not sponsored by Mountain Dew unless they want to sponsor us. But then again,
Love
I've
Mountain
Dew for like 4 years. I mean, Anyways, but yeah, welcome. So there you are. You've had our wonderful daily quest. You've had our storyline quest. You've had our escort quest. We've quested you out, okay? And as one of the guys in my stream, he talks about the word question. It's about questing for knowledge, I guess. I don't know, but that's true. But yeah, we're done. So our quests are done. The dungeons are cleared, and the loot has been distributed fairly, and the crafting orders have been completed. It's time to go AFK, or unless you're Solomon, go fishing. Where can we find you, and what are you doing these days, Sir Jazil?
I'm playing World of Warcraft and Rust. That's pretty much it.
Oh, you're playing Rust. Wow.
Yeah. With the good old GMA folks, and been having a lot of fun, although Ern's kind of earning a bad name on there, but we'll get him back.
Ern? Wow.
No, I love him. I love you, Ern. yeah, that's basically it. And as far as if you need to get a hold of me, I am, of course, on Twitch doing this show. That's I still haven't started streaming again. We're gonna get back eventually, but you can get a hold of me on here or on Discord, mostly through the GMA group. And yeah, that's all I'm up to, other than the music stuff going on in the background.
Sounds good. Yeah. So, like he mentions, Rust, we have a GMA server. Rust is a PvP survival thing. So, Ern really wants to play it. Those who don't know Ern's Aaron of Fire Resistance Podcast, and he wants to play it the way the game is set up to be. It's supposed to be a survival PvP, which means you jump in, you survive, and you could be killed, and people will steal your loot. And you build your house and your base, and you want to set it up to make sure it takes care of itself. And either whether you're online or offline, it will defend. And you jump back in. If you're offline, jump back in. You go, oh, okay, got to rebuild everything. So that's where he is. He's like, the rules seem to be too rigid, even though I think the rules are fine. But I think the biggest thing is just having fun. I think that if you understand, it's like basically, to me, think about PUBG or Fortnite. You get dropped in, you collect stuff, and you win. But this one, of course, wins over and over again. And coming up on February 4th, apparently, there's going to be a server wipe. Whoop! Okay. And so, therefore, it's going to be end blueprints. So everything starts over fresh and clean, which is one of the key things about that game that makes it interesting, because you actually do a server wipe. Everyone starts over. And then every month you wipes again, but you keep your blueprint. So this is the once a year server wipe. Okay. Sorry. Solomon, where can we find you at?
Coffee and RPGs on YouTube, man. That's where I'm at. You can find all my social media links there as well, so just kind of use that as a hub. But yeah, I'll be uploading this on YouTube. And the channel's been slowly growing, but kind of stagnating here, so I'm doing something a little different. I'll be making my videos a lot shorter now, but uploading more frequently, hopefully. I do have the time again. My little secret, not so much secret, is just doing everything at work. That's all I'll say about that. But yeah, Coffee and RPGs.
Okay, absolutely. Yoshi is the mod extraordinaire. Okay, he did that. Shout out to Fire Resistance Podcast. If you're not here, he created a new exclamation point coffee, so you get all of the goodness of the YouTube and the Discord for Coffee and RPGs. I am Kennethan, as always, and this is my channel. And thanks for being here. You can find me at Kennethan Live on Twitter. Also on Discord is Kennethan, and of course here I will be stopping the stream, having some food to eat because it's dinner time, and then we will be jumping into World of Warcraft later on. I'll be restreaming that. I'll be streaming again with World of Warcraft. So if you want to join us, I will be in the Coffee and RPG Discord in voice chat, as long as you know that you will be on the stream too, talking. Okay, and there are times I'll be talking over you. Which, by the way, so I have several channels being recorded. I can always just meet you out in the VOD if I make it. So, kind of nice to do that. So,
yep.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for being here tonight. We'll be back again for next week. We are talking about starting a half an hour earlier these days at 5:30 p.m. Pacific. So we better with our schedule for Solomon. So to check out for that. So, but yeah, be here next week. We'll do this again. And yeah, God bless you guys, and we'll take care of yourself. And yeah, I'm not rating anybody. I'm just going to turn the stream off. Okay. So goodbye, everyone. Thank you, Yoshi. Thanks Rogue Saint and Star Fox and Collective and Godfuzz. So thanks for being here, guys. Thank you so much. Catch you around. God bless you guys. See you later.